Hello, hello. Time for episode 5 of Scarlet Hollow, the final episode of this series. A lot of stuff went down last episode, and thanks to a lovely new follower, we had found out, spoiler alert, that Kanika may not be real. It may all just be a figment of our imagination. So let's get into it. Let's continue. Is there a way that I can do a recap? Oh, I think I just overwrote that save. Well, no recap. So no recap. Let us go right to our little journey then, I guess. Hey, thanks for joining. We slept over Stella's house last night. You wake to the sound of birdsong and to the welcome aroma of breakfast sizzling down the hall of Stella's intimately cozy cottage. The soft cotton oversheet you're wrapped in still smells like her. The gentle morning sun shines in through her bedroom window, speckling the sheets with dazzling spots of light, warming the spot where Stella lay beside you all night. You feel like you've had a good night's sleep for the first time in days, and you know you have her to thank for it. Let's join her. Zen, I hope I wasn't too noisy in there. I wanted to be able to get some more sleep. I know it's early. Still, it can't be too bad to wake up to somebody making pancakes for you, even if it is at the crack of dawn. How'd you sleep? Aren't I the host here? Isn't that what I'm supposed to ask you? But I slept great. Of course I did. Look at this cute photo of Gretchen she has hanging up. Thanks again for everything you did yesterday. You have no idea how light I feel right now. Let's give her a morning kiss. You take a step forward, leaning in close. You can feel Stella's smile broaden as you plant a gentle kiss on her cheek. Aw, Zen, you can do better than that. Before you can pull away, she takes your face in her flour-dusted hands, pressing her soft lips to yours. She smirks as she turns back to the pan. I can't believe you made me pancakes. You're amazing. Also, considering how we've only had PB&Js for this entire 5 days that we've been in Scarlet Hollow, breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and I wanted to make sure today started out special. You've really been there for me this week, Zen. Making you food is the least I can do. And that's the last one. Let's have ourselves a breakfast feast. Stella motions with a pancake-laden plate towards the table. You take a seat. Oh, do I tell her about Reese? Reese ended up being some devil spawn or something. And his mom had no idea how she even got pregnant with him. And Reese's mom doesn't want us to say anything, but I kind of feel like I have to. Before we figure out our plans for the day, we should talk about Reese. Why? Did something happen? You take a deep breath, then proceed to explain everything. Stella stares down at her pancakes in shock, trying to process what you just said. Tears well up in Stella's eyes. She tries to blink them away before you can notice. He's what? She looks away for a long moment, trying to collect herself. So that means he's all alone right now, locked up in some tiny room? But I guess if he wasn't, then Dr. Kelly would be. I can't believe I was off dealing with all my own pathetic little problems yesterday. If I'd just been there, maybe things could have been okay. Maybe I could have talked him down, or I don't know, done anything besides moping around while my friend went through the biggest crisis in his life. She takes a sullen bite of pancake. With it, she seems to swallow her momentary distress, her casual demeanor returning as she gives you a weak smile. But it's over. I trust you made the right call in the moment, and for now, we have a mystery to solve. Though I will be making a visit to the doc's office soon. It's better than letting him kill someone. I bought us time to figure out the best course of action. Stella continues staring down at her pancakes, but her shoulders loosen, a forced smile plastered on her face. Oh, well, no point in talking about it. We have a lot on our plate today, so many mysteries to solve. Let's try our pancakes. I'm sure they're great. You take a multi-layered bite of Stella's pancakes. They're incredible. A perfectly crispy crust with a light and fluffy interior, still steaming from the heat of the pan, with a generous pour of maple syrup adding a flavorful sweetness. A rich, buttery aftertaste lingers on your palate. A stack of these, made with love by someone who cares about you, is a perfect way to start your day. Wayne said Tabitha wouldn't be around today. What a coincidence. I was going to suggest we snoop around the estate, and unless Wayne is lying, which maybe he is, it sounds like today is a perfect opportunity to snoop. Ooh, we haven't snooped the mansion that we were staying in since the first day, and we really couldn't get around because there was a lock on the door. I kind of trust Wayne. As soon as Tabitha told me the forbidden wing was forbidden, I've needed to see what's in there. Right? You can't just name something the forbidden wing and expect people to not want to explore it. She's practically asking us to sneak in. I still have to figure out this stream elements mod thing. I'll have to play around a little bit after I'm done streaming today. Alright, pancakes have been eaten and I'm fueled up for today's activities. Let's head out. Stella stands up, Gretchen hopping down from her chair to stand at Stella's side, and the two of them lead you to the door and out into the chilly morning air. The walk through town is quiet. It's early, and though you can smell the diner cooking up breakfast for hungry miners and brewing coffee for cops to sip while ignoring the horrors plaguing Scarlet Hollow, Main Street is deserted. You and Stella feel like the only people in the world watching the sunrise over the abandoned library. So this is what we were saying last stream. You met Stella's friend, and then Kanika's name is missing here and missing here. And when we did the recap, it didn't show anything about Kanika. So I'm curious if we can visit Sybil sometime today after we're done exploring the estate and try to figure out this Kanika mystery. The estate looms over the three of you, more unwelcoming than it's ever been, as if the small bit of time you spent away in a warm house, still full of the love that built it, has made the mere thought of the crumbling manor unbearable. Wow, I can barely remember the last time I made my way up that hill. Pearl Ann didn't exactly make it easy for me to see Tabitha, so we usually hung out anywhere else we could think of. Your aunt had a tendency to shoot first and ask questions later, so I figured it was best not to risk winding up at the business end of her shotgun. You only make that mistake once. It's sad to see how much worse it's gotten. That cliff used to be a lot further away from the house, but it's claimed a lot of ground. The place looks like it could fall any day now. Oh yeah, the house is right here on the verge of a cliff. It used to be such a beautiful house. The odd sadness that creeps into Stella's eyes as she looks up at the place makes you wonder if it's really the house she's concerned about. After all, a home is often a reflection of its occupants, and even if what they had died a long time ago, it's never easy to see someone you once cared about decay and collapse in on themselves. Together, you cross the threshold, the ancient door creaking open to reveal the familiar dusty foyer. Knowing Tabitha isn't here to keep you in line gives the place a new feeling, like you have complete ownership of the place, and that any secrets it once held are yours to be uncovered, if only you can figure out where to look. You can feel how much the floor is tilting. Geez, the place has really gone to the dogs since the last time I was here. Everything feels so much older and disused. I can't believe Tabitha is still living here. I'm sure she has a lot of memories trying tying her to the place, but it feels like it could come down around her ears any second. So, where to first? Let's go... Oh, I want to go to the bedroom. Let's go up to my room first. Oh, got something up there you want to show me? Stella gives you a flirtatious wink. Lead the way. I want to see if the doll has been moved again. The two of you make your way up the rickety stairs and into the guest room. The moment you enter the room, Gretchen and Frou-Frou start growling at each other. All the boxes are out of my closet, too. Uh-oh, this is gonna be trouble. Gretchen lets out a snort, a short, sharp yap. That's all it takes for Frou-Frou to launch from the bed, skittering away down the hallway. You hear her gallop down the stairs, undoubtedly returning to her spot in the kitchen. Gretchen is victorious. Anyway, if I remember correctly, this is Pearl Ann's old room, right? Tabitha really wasted no time getting this place turned over for guests. Someone has been here. The closet is wide open and its contents have been dragged out into the room. A discolored residue smeared on some of the larger boxes, giving you a hint as to who might be behind the invasion of privacy. Holy shit, that mess has gotta be Wayne, right? I think I'd know if you were that messy. Yeah, Tabitha did not mention it was Pearl Ann's old room. Did you say this was Pearl Ann's old room? I knew someone died in here. Tabitha was so dismissive when I brought it up. Pearl Ann did die in her sleep, so one can assume maybe Tabby just didn't want to talk about it. It's okay, now you can just sleep in my bed for the rest of the week. If Tabby gets mad, oh well, she shouldn't have made you sleep in a dead lady's bed without even telling you. Let's check our little possums. You pull out the dresser to check on the little opossum who lives there and the larger one that joined it. They're gone! Not even the bread remains, it's just an empty drawer. Oh, are you getting changed? I could give you some privacy. Or not, whichever. There's usually a little opossum in there. Hope he's okay. Aw, opossums are cute. Weird that one lives in the drawer right next to where you sleep, but I guess I'm sorry he's wandered off. You slide the drawer shut. The closet was not like this yesterday morning, so your room has been tampered with. All the more reason to check it out. You and Stella cross the room to investigate the open closet door. Oh, it's another room? The back of it hangs slightly ajar. It looks like it was never a solid wall at all, but rather a door, previously hidden behind the pile of boxes and papers that was dragged out of the way overnight. There is no doorknob, only a small circle of metal where a doorknob would be, punctuated with a keyhole. You can't help but notice that the doll from the other day is conspicuously absent, both from the closet and from the pile of garbage flowing out of it. Is that a hidden door? Yes, I knew it. I knew there was going to be hidden passages. Stella whips out her camera, nearly fumbling and dropping it in excitement, but she regains her steadiness, aiming into the gloom of the closet at the sliver of light from the room beyond. Stellars, you are not going to believe this. We're here in the Scarlet Estate, trying to get to the bottom of what exactly is going on around town, and have just uncovered this hidden door in Zen's closet. I don't know if Wayne is behind it, though. He seems like he's really protecting me. There used to be this really creepy doll in here. It's gone, Stella. Maybe we'll find it somewhere in there. Maybe the doll's behind everything bad that's been happening here. I guess we found our way into the Forbidden Wing. There could be anything on the other side of that door, some kind of unspeakable monster, maybe a devious trap, or perhaps the answers to the mysteries that have been plaguing Scarlet Hollow. Or it could just be a boring room with all this buildup will have been for nothing. Only one way to find out. Stella steps forward, filming as she dramatically opens the door, its hinges creaking appropriately. Together you enter the Forbidden Wing of the Scarlet Estate. The room you find yourself in is mostly barren, with no real furniture to speak of. The wallpaper is peeling with neglect and the floor tilts uncomfortably beneath you. Already you can see why Tabitha would be so intent on keeping you out of these unused rooms. This doesn't feel like a place for humans anymore. Aw, Gretchen looks so worried. Stella continues forward excitedly, camera held up to catch every detail. You follow her into the hallway beyond the small, forgotten room. Wow, an exclusive look at the ruins of Scarlet Estate. Even if we don't find anything supernatural in here, this is already great stuff. Before you is a long hallway. Dust dances in the weak sunlight, beaming in through cracked glass. A tinge of mildew stings your nose, warning you away, though there's nowhere else to run to now. An ornate entryway, its door long gone, breaks the monotony of the faded wallpaper, and a staircase looms at the far end. You can't help but notice the tracks leading up and down the grimy hallway floor. Clearly, the forbidden wing is only forbidden for some. Oh, those are fresh prints. Looks like our friend has been doing some exploring of his own. We'll have to be careful. I'd rather not run into him while sneaking around in here. You both make your way to the dark doorway in the middle of the corridor. It seems like some kind of entertainment room, the sort you'd expect out of fancy rich people who wanted to show off. It would feel elegant if not for the massive crack that runs the entire length of the floor. The air here stinks of mildew. You can see why Tabitha doesn't want you exploring these rooms. There's a large painting on the far wall of the room. From a distance, it looks like it might depict the town. I guess so. Geez, it's a miracle any of this is still standing. Tabitha should really think about moving before this half of the house decides to finish falling off the cliff. As Stella excitedly films B-roll of the ruined parlor, something else catches your eye too. A bookshelf, or rather what's left of a bookshelf, hanging by a single rusted hinge. Its sagging shelves reveal some sunless space beyond, once hidden, now exposed by the rot of this house. And it seems that Stella has spotted it too, as she turns her camera toward the dark entryway. A hidden room. Oh man, the fans are gonna love this. Let's examine the painting first. The painting highlights a number of old buildings and locals, many of which you've already visited. The town hall, the estate, the mines, and the clinic, still called a hospital at the time of this painting, the church, and then there's somewhere you've yet to see, the historical Callaway/Tremaine homesteads. Ah, true, we haven't seen those yet. And that would be your little town. Oh, there's a plaque under it. In commemoration of Enoch Scarlet, head of the Scarlet Hollow Landmark Revitalization Project. Let the past never be forgotten. Oof, I feel like writing something like that is just asking to wind up gathering dust in a neglected room like this. Let's be a lesson to all of my viewers looking to immortalize their life's work. So, all two of you maybe. Check out this hidden room. Stella takes you by the hand, her firm grip lending you a sense of security even as you both step over the wide gap in the floor. Together you duck between the shelves, stepping over water-damaged books and into the darkness of the hidden room. The space is dark, its features barely illuminated by the faint light trickling in through the myriad of cracks and holes in the walls. The wallpaper, a deep, exquisite red, adds a blood-like glow to the dimness. The walls are lined with ornate display cabinets, some empty, some still presenting their antique treasures. Nestled between the cabinets, a single tall bookshelf remains standing, its occupants dusty, but mostly intact. But all of these are ornamental details. Your focus is drawn to an expensive-looking antique desk in the center of the room. Gretchen barks out at the rest of the room, attempting to intimidate whatever it is she smells. Shh, Gretchen, we wouldn't want anybody to find us here. Who knows what they might try to seal it back up. Amontillado style. Gretchen quiets down, but that doesn't stop her from thoroughly investigating the space. This is it, Stellars, the kind of find every urban explorer hopes for. A hidden room, locked away in the Scarlet Estate, full of weird artifacts and keepsakes no one was ever supposed to find. They weren't counting on a couple investigative documentarians like us to go looking, but here we are, about to blow your family's sordid past wide open. Let's examine the desk. You step towards the desk. Maybe there's something worth finding in its drawers. Open the top drawer. Mostly contains old-timey letter writing materials, complete with a fancy dagger-shaped letter opener and a wax stamping kit emblazoned with the initials ES. The wax seems slightly gnawed. Underneath, you find a pile of crumbling financial documents. Scrawled in neat cursive in every spot that needed a signature is the name Enoch Scarlet. This must be his desk, meaning this must also be his study. And hidden among the documents, you find an ancient photograph. A stern blonde man stares up at you from the detritus at the bottom of the drawer, a face you're surprised to find you recognize. It's the man from your vision, the one in the hospital bed. Hey, I've seen that before. That's the picture of Theodore they put up in the local history books. That's your great-great-uncle or something, the one who died in the collapse. I'm going to tell her about my vision. No way. Enoch was about to take Teddy home from the hospital after the collapse, but afterwards he told the doctor it was just an imposter. He didn't die in the collapse, Enoch just said he did, but I also saw him promising Teddy that a witch was going to solve their problems. Yeah, I'm going to say that. Stella focuses the camera on you as you explain the vision you saw yesterday. She's clearly shocked by this revelation, drinking in every word, eyes growing wide. What's that about a witch? I would have figured Enoch was some straight-laced religious dude. Definitely seems like there are a lot of layers to this mystery we have yet to uncover. The bottom drawer offers some resistance as you try to pull it out. It seems that it was locked, though the bit of metal attempting to hold it shut seems to have rusted to the point of uselessness years ago. It gives in with a sharp tug, rotting wood splintering softly somewhere within the century-old desk. Aww! You're surprised to see familiar faces staring up at you from within a nest of odd glassed vials. It's the little opossums from your room. It seems they too found their way into the Forbidden Wing. Gresham barks and strains to get at the poor beasts, breaking the eerie silence of the Forbidden Wing with a cacophony of dog wrath. The opossums in turn fall over, feigning death. Geez, Gretchen, calm down. I'm not letting you go after a couple poor little opossums. You don't even have teeth. This isn't a fight you're gonna win. Stella reaches out a foot, holding the squirming Gretchen close to her chest and slides the drawer shut. The opossums are safely stored away where the bloodthirsty, toothless pug can't try to wrap her gums around their little throats. You step away from the desk. Let's see where those footprints lead. You find yourself on the third floor of the estate for the first time. As you take in your surroundings, Stella slowly pans the camera down the length of the hall, working to build dread and tension for her future viewers. She clears her throat again, resuming her narration in a charmingly professional hosting voice. Clearly, Zen and I are not the only people who have passed through the supposedly Forbidden Wing. Who knows, we might wind up running into someone else sneaking around in here. If you're watching this as found footage after the two of us went missing, now you know where to start looking for our bodies. She drops the camera after her morbid joke, her voice returning to its usual casual cadence. Looks like the footprints go all the way down this hallway into that far door. You also notice that there are much fainter tracks leading to the room in front of you, its doorway hidden behind a stack of boxes. These prints are old enough to have accumulated some dust. They were also notably not made by boots. If you had to guess, you'd assume these were loafers or some other kind of low heel. Let's move the boxes. The boxes slide out of the way with a bit of elbow grease. You push past them into the room beyond. I was so fixated on the footprints I didn't even realize there was a room there. That probably means it has some really good stuff. The kind of stuff people put away hoping nobody will ever find it. The kind of stuff that makes for a great video. The room is coldly empty. The large antique bed is made, its sheets ancient and dusty, but still somehow giving off the feeling of tidiness, even with cobwebs stretched between each corner of its four-poster frame. Let's search the desk. The drawers are practically overflowing with stationery. You start opening drawers, each one is filled with papers stacked haphazardly, practically spilling out as you attempt to dig through for anything important. All these bills and receipts are in Edward Dean's name. Guess we know whose desk this is. The rest of the room is so neat and tidy, it's amazing that her drawers are such a hoarder's nest of old paper. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Scarlet ladies have always been like this, pretending they have everything together on the surface, then being a total mess on the inside. Sounds like Tabby to a T. Oh, don't tell her I said that. When you reach the bottom right drawers, you find something entirely different. Greeting cards, letters, small wrapped packages, some opened, some sealed, some crumpled into messy balls. You open one of the cards. Both pages are taken up by a handwritten note. Tabby, hope you're doing well. Not a day goes by that I don't miss you. Hope Pearl Ann treats you the best. Treats you to your best Christmas yet. I'm not sure what sort of doodads you're into these days, so I sent a little something that made me think of you. I made sure they were the best shells of the bunch. Not sure how rare any of them are, but they're awful pretty, and they're still got that beach smell. And make sure you put your ear up to them too. It doesn't compare to the real thing, but it comes close enough. And in case you think that makes me a cheapskate, I made sure to send along a little cash too, so you can get yourself something a little nicer than glorified beach trash. Make sure you get Pearl Ann to take you to the nice toy store, because that's where I'd take you if I was there. If you get the time, I'd love to hear from you. I miss you so much, Tabby, and I'm always thinking of you. You can come out and visit me anytime. I know you've always wanted to see what it's like out east. I made sure to write out my address on the back of this card just in case you didn't know how to get a hold of me. Been missing you, my incredible, wonderful, amazing daughter. All my love, Dad. Oh my God. Stella lowers the camera, averting its gaze from the deeply personal letters. Tabby said her dad never tried to get in touch, that he just abandoned her. You pull out another from closer to the top of the pile. Happy birthday, Tabby. It's me again, your old dad. So, the big 2-0. I can't believe my daughter is such an adult. In my mind, you're still that bouncy little kid doing cartwheels on the front lawn, telling me what various sounds animals make, like you're the professor of animal noises. I have no idea if you read these, but I'll keep writing them, even if sometimes it feels like I'm writing them to a ghost. I mean, we haven't spoken in almost 15 years. You're a whole human being now, and I have no idea what you're like. I'd like to think we'd get along, though. As always, my address is in the back. I hope you'll decide to come with me, visit me one of these days. I've got a guest room all set up just in case. It's ready for you, kid. I love you, and I always will, no matter who you turn out to be. Love, Dad. There are years and years of these. The bottom drawer is almost entirely unopened envelopes dated from when Tabitha would have been just a kid, all from him. It kind of looks like Edwardine and Pearl Ann were keeping these from Tabitha, on purpose, for practically her entire life. I don't even know if he should tell her. I mean, there could have been a good reason, right? Like maybe he was awful and telling her would just be painful and dredge up bad memories, but I feel like I need to tell her. Tabitha deserves one good thing in her life. I don't care if she yells at us for snooping around back here. You're right, she has to know the truth. Let's look at the closet. You make your way to the closet. It's as lifeless and tidy as the rest of the room. It seems Edwardine kept things neat and orderly, or as neat and orderly as she could, considering the decaying state of the place. It looks to me like where Pearl Ann would go shopping for Tabby's clothes. It's exactly the sort of thing she wears. In fact, I'm pretty sure I've seen her in that dress before. The only thing here besides her clothes and shoes is a box shoved off to one side. You pick it up. Child-size overalls, striped shirts, and a small pair of trousers with suspenders still attached. One of those little sailor suits boys from the 50s were always wearing. Boy's clothes. That's weird. When was the last time a boy was born into the family? When you pull out the last shirt, a note is revealed, tucked away in the bottom of the box in a protective plastic sleeve. It's scrawled in almost illegible handwriting, written in some thick brown watery ink that's cracked with age. Mommy, I am in here too, and I love you. What the? As Stella handles the note, Gretchen anxiously stomps on the floorboards. It's okay, Gretchen. You don't have to squirm so much. It's just paper. Really, really creepy paper. Stella zooms in on the unsettling note, making sure the camera takes in every detail. Okay, I got the footage I need. You should put that back before you get a curse from it or something. You drop the note back into the box, once again covering it with the clothes. That is spooky. Folks, what you just saw was found in the bottom of a box of boys' clothes hidden away in Edwardine Scarlet's closet. Yet the only children she supposedly ever had were 2 girls. This mystery is getting so thick it's gone from gumbo to gravy. I found records yesterday, and actually, Edwardine had a stillborn boy, and his middle name was Charles. Stella's eyes grow wide. No way. You're not just winding me up, right? Because that is a bombshell. I mean, do you think Charlie? But then, oh my god. Okay, hear me out. What if he wasn't a stillborn? I mean, he would have been a bastard son, right? And with Enoch the way he was, and the fact that your family has the whole Southern Gothic thing going on, I hope we find more about this. Forget about gravy. The mystery just boiled over. You and Stella return to the hallway. Let's enter the middle room. Oh boy, we've got a haunted nursery, everybody. Check the bookshelf. The top shelf is occupied by antique picture books, Dick and Jane nursery rhymes, ancient editions of Grimm's fairy tales. The lower shelves are full of educational material, from children's encyclopedias to writing practice workbooks. From the sheer number of learning-oriented books on the shelf, you get the impression that the children who lived here were not supposed to be as interested in fun and fiction as they were in diction and spelling. But that doesn't seem to have stopped them from making their own fun. You see quite a few books with children's art stuffed in between the pages, the corners peeking out, tiny scribbled hands waving at you from their yellowed paper. We'll pull out the children's art. You take a particularly doodled-on encyclopedia off the shelf. If Daddy plays with me and Mary Belle, if my family goes to the zoo, if Mommy and Grandpa took us to work, if me and Mary Belle and Mommy and Daddy and Grandpa have a picnic. It's all if, because they never ever done it. Alexandra Scarlet. All are signed with a carefully scrawled signature of Alexandra Scarlet. There's a strange, fantastical element to these pictures. Everyone is smiling and sitting together as any family would in a child's drawing, and yet it feels like these are drawn in the same hopeful way a child would draw a unicorn. Expressions of some reality that Alexandra could only dream of. These are less joyful illustrations as well. Daddy napping shows their father sleeping in a chair, a bottle of brown liquid conspicuously drawn on the table next to him. The two girls and what you assume must be Alexandra's doll hovering in the doorway some distance away. Mommy going to work shows the girls crying in the upstairs window of a house as their mother walks away, an angry frown scrawled on her face. Wow, these are awful. The viewers are going to eat this up. You get the feeling these are more accurate depictions of the girls' lives. The last picture you pull out gives you pause. There's a new figure here, seemingly drawn behind a barrier. The two girls sit at the other side, smiles on their cartoon faces. The boy in the wall. Ooh, creepy. Are you kidding me? People are going to think I planted this or something. It's just too creepy. Stella makes sure to linger on the image, getting plenty of B-roll for the scribbled lines. Let's see some of these practice books. You leaf through a few of the practice workbooks, gently turning the near-crumbling pages. Reasons Mommy should take me and Mary Belle to the zoo. 1. We have been very good girls and have not cried for a whole week. Mary Belle says, elephants are so big and I would like to see one. 3. I think it would be very fun and Mommy would have a good time. These are also the work of Alexandra. You flip through the rest of the book, your eyes unfocused as the many practice sentences and letter copying pages flash by. But something near the back of the book gives you pause. In a section that starts with the prompt, Today Alexandra continues with, Talk to the boy in the wall. There he is again. More boy in the wall. I'm getting goosebumps. This is just so weird. Hold on a minute. The little boy's clothes, the note, the fact that Edwardine had a bastard son at some point, now a boy in the wall. This is all starting to add up. You and Stella make your way back to the hallway. Let's approach the window. You carefully approach the window at the far end of the hall. That sure is a cliff. There is nothing below the window but the tops of distant trees, the ground having crumbled away. The only thing stopping you from plummeting to your death is the straining foundation that still somehow holds this place together. At least for now. Jesus. You continue following the trail of footprints, approaching the farthest room down the hall. The door was clearly meant to be hidden, but it's left open. Gretchen begins to shake in fear, whining meekly as she glances around the room with wide, anxious eyes. It's okay, Gretchen. It's just a big, empty room. There's nothing to be scared of. It pains you to stand in this space. Emotions hang over you, strong, oppressive, and overwhelming thoughts that threaten to fill your lungs. You don't feel death here. You feel something worse, a deeper loss, one that's left a wound that has refused to scar. You can't help but fixate on the carpet in the center of the room. The corner is rumpled as if it had recently been moved. And then you're drawn to the curtain on the far side of the room. The small section of tile peeking out from beneath the heavy crimson velvet is out of place against the hardwood floor, a curious and conspicuous detail. Okay. Pull back curtain or move the carpet? I'm gonna say, let's pull back the curtain first. You cross the room and yank back the curtain. Stella raises the camera, its lens trailing up the tiles to the meat hook dangling from the end of a heavy chain in the center of the odd shower-like alcove. You can just make out the rusty stains of what looks like a long-dried blood in between the tiles. There's been an effort to clean it up, but just enough was missed that it doesn't escape your attention. Well, Stellars, if anybody has any idea what this is, please enlighten us. It's almost like it was a place where you'd butcher something. But what is it doing all the way up here, across from the nursery of all places? I guess we'll move the carpet too. You pull up the carpet, exposing the bare floor and revealing what lies beneath. Oh no! An ornate ring of sigils has been carved into the floor. 5 along the edges with the 6th in the center. The circle emits a now uncomfortably familiar feeling. You can feel your gaze forced to crawl over every intricate detail of the carving in front of you. Is this some kind of magic circle in the Scarlet Estate? Clearly Enoch was pretty serious about the whole occult thing. This is about as occult as you can get. But you're too far drawn into a trance to respond to Stella or to even pay much mind to what she's saying. Your gaze crawls across the intricate details unbidden. The serpents wrapped around the staff gives you flashes of the room beyond the morgue and the darkness that swept through the house once it had been uncovered. The fist and chain makes you feel like you're back in the claustrophobic confines of the mines, surrounded by the angry hammering of its memories. The horns have the same nightmarish, dreamy feeling of the world constructed by the furious ghosts of Charles Shaw Jr. The others are new to you. The feeling they emit are less intense, giving only vague impressions of what they might be tied to. Golden fields, the mewling of fresh souls, just slithering out from the womb and desperate to be fed. Another that rings like bells in your mind, calling you not towards it but away from it, pushing you from its threshold and into the darkness. But the central symbol is the strongest of all. It echoes out across the room, a vast ego proclaiming its dominance. You okay? Oh no, did the circle do something to you? Talk to me, Zen. Snap out of it. A bell. This is super mysterious. A bell chimes, not calling me, but pushing me away, and there's a field somewhere torn by hunger and... Hey, come on, stay with me. Let's get you out of this room. She flashes you a confident smile, her eyes shining as they meet yours. Her faith in you is unwavering. Stella crosses the room, training the camera on the door on the far side, like the way you entered. It too has been left ajar, as if inviting you to explore what might be behind it. The doors to this room seem like they would be almost totally invisible if they hadn't been left open. There aren't handles or anything, just keyholes, so it's gotta be a hidden passage. Amazing your family really pulled out all the stops when it comes to creepy stuff. You exit into a short hallway. There are stairs here, leading back down to the lower floors, but there is also another door. Oh, this is the door that we saw in episode 3, when we were in the library, and Scarlet and Kanika and all of them were possessed. It's hanging ajar, the many locks and deadbolts along its edge glimmering in the weak morning light. The doorframe itself is gouged and splintered, evidence that some desperate creature tried to save itself from the room beyond time and time again. Holy shit. Gretchen's whining reaches a fever pitch. Geez, okay, I get it. The scary room is too scary for a little dog like you. You don't have to go in, just don't go running off anywhere. See how the edge of the door is all messed up? Looks to me like something didn't want to be put back in there. Before he can stop her, Stella steps into the little room, her camera drinking in every detail. Oh my god. You step forward to join her, Gretchen remaining rooted on the floor outside. This was a prison cell. Everything about this place reeks of neglected humanity. The walls are covered in scratches, legible words mixed in with the nonsense of desperate clawing. The one window set high in the far wall is fitted with a thick pane of glass, as if the iron bars just beyond it wouldn't be enough to hold the imprisoned. You can't help but notice that the doll from your closet sits watching you from the bed, one eyelid drooping. It adds an extra layer of menace to the already deeply unsettling room. Property of Alexandra. Look at all these scratches on the walls. Did a person do this? I can't imagine how much it would have hurt. You can't help but notice that Stella's camera is no longer recording, its little red indicator as dead as the air hanging over this room. It stinks too, nothing like I've ever smelled before. I've been in the sewer drains that smelled better. Tabby. What happened here, Zen? What the hell happened here? The pain radiating from these walls howls through your mind. Whatever lived here lived in constant torment. But the etchings on the wall are more than just evidence of the suffering that went on here. Whatever was trapped in these walls was trying to send a message to you or to anyone who might happen across it. Your eyes are drawn to the massive, almost letters, dug as deep into the brick as the cell's prisoner could manage, highlighted with whatever pigments were available. It almost looks like a word, though none of the lines meet up, causing you to constantly doubt whether they're letters at all or just lines that fool the eye into imagining shapes that aren't there. Your stomach clenches with nausea as you run your eyes along the deep furrows in the wall, but whatever was in here wanted these words to be known. So you do your best to store them away, trying to burn the image of them into your mind, carved deep into the wall, bloody against a filthy brick. That doll used to be in my closet, property of Alexandra. Stella walks over to the doll and examines it. Property of Alexandra. Kids always talked about how she went missing. It's one of our town's urban legends. I wonder if they ever found her body. Maybe there wasn't a body to find. You stopped recording. Yeah. You and Stella are interrupted by a sound wrapping around you. Music. The tinkling of piano keys plays by a clumsy hand. They echo up a narrow staircase at the end of the hall, one you've yet to travel. You hear that creepy music, right? Stella seems uncharacteristically shaken. She clutches at your arm, the camera trembling in her hand. Oh God, someone else is in here. You know who you'll find if you chose to follow the tune. It's an invitation. Wayne's blackened fingers sending out a message across the quiet house. The two of you stagger back into the hall. Do you think it's him? Wayne? Stella seems to swallow her momentary fear, straightening back up and letting the light return to her features. If it is him, he could have information. He seems like he knows a lot about what's been going on in town. And who knows, maybe he'd be more willing to talk now that we found all those secrets your family has been hiding. Take her hand, follow the music. We'll talk to him together. Of course, no way are we splitting up. I'm not gonna let that creep draw you into some trap without me around to help you out. Come on, Gretchen, I'll carry you. Stella scoops Gretchen, the pug still visibly shaking with fear. This place seemed to instill in her, though Stella's comforting grip seems to ease her poor little doggy spirit. That's right, my little old lady. Nothing bad happened. Besides being shaken to my core, I guess. But nothing physical. We're just seeing one scary man and then we're leaving. Her grip is firm and warm and reassuring, and together you make your way down the hall to the source of the eerie music. The stairs take you into what you have to assume was once a servant's quarters, a network of cramped passageways hidden away behind the expansive rooms of the estate without so much a window for illumination. But you persist and descend deeper into the bowels of the Scarlet Estate, the echoing piano your only company. Soon enough, you see light again, the sun creeping in through the edges of a nearly hidden door. You're at the end of another long corridor. Its high ceilings and tall windows are almost disorienting as you step out from the cramped, gloomy stairwell. The music echoes mournfully in the vast space, a chorus of wind adding a melancholic harmony as it whips in from the overgrown courtyard outside. But as you make your way into one of the side rooms, utterly dark save for the open doorway on the far wall, the music stops. There's no warning, no gentle fade or dramatic slamming of keys. When you make your way to the music room, Wayne is already standing, his eyes glimmering in the darkness behind its stained veil. I'd hoped you come alone. Well, you'd better get used to me being around because your days of harassing Zen are over. From now on, you'll have to harass the both of us. That's all right. You can enjoy your slattern. You and I are already bound by our fates. You need to come to understand that if you expect to help anyone, yourself included, you're running out of time. He slips away into the shadows. What did he just call me? Whatever. Let's just leave, yeah? Now? I think we've seen enough. And for the floor down here, it feels like it could give way and throw us down the cliff at any second. The warmth you and Stella shared last night seems to fall apart in the fresh air, shaken by the unearthed secrets of your family's past. A tense silence holds between the two of you as your mind does its best to grapple with what you found. The cell, the doll, Enoch's occult sanctuary, the boy in the wall, and his outfits in Edwardine's closet. Is it possible your cousin has known about all of this? Your eyes dart back up to Stella. Her gaze is fixed on some non-existent point far off in the distance, and you can only try to imagine what she might be thinking. Maybe she feels you're connected in some impossible way to what you've just discovered, like you carry whatever went on here in your blood. And Tabitha who had lived under the same roof as that cell her entire life. This silence feels like a terrible thing, like detritus clogging the air, suffocating the fragile growth of a barely formed relationship. There's a feeling that the longer you wait to say something, anything, the more your tentative relationship will unravel second by second. So say something, say anything, just break this awful silence already. I don't think I can trust my cousin. Why? Because we found some creepy, tortured dungeon hidden away in a part of her house that's been condemned since we were in grade school? No, there's no way she knows. She would have found those letters from her dad, and she's not the sort of person who would keep something like that hidden from me. I was always going to see what we saw today, but there's nothing forcing us to go to Tabitha. We don't have to see her. The room with the letters from her dad was blocked off by a pile of garbage. She could have known about the dungeon without knowing about her dad. You've always been so quick to defend her. How can I trust that you're not in on all this? I'm not gonna force anything here. I know how much she means to you, and I know better than to let that come between us. Let's go. A palpable wave of relief washes over Stella. Yeah? Really? Okay, then we're going to the mines. Come on. There are no picketers outside the mine today. The only sound is the constant low industrial clanking of unending productivity. The only sign of life, the slow-moving machinery beyond the rickety chain fence. The Scarlet Hollow mines are ticking along as they always have. There's nothing here to stop you from seeing your cousin. All right, looks like the coast is completely clear. You and Stella make your way through the front gates and up the short path to your cousin's office. Stella doesn't bother to knock before twisting the door open and confidently stepping into the trailer. Tabby! Stella? Zen, what are you doing here? Why are you holding a shotgun? I clean it sometimes. Guns need that kind of thing, you know that. Stella, I would have appreciated a heads up that Zen was safe in bed at your place last night, instead of having to wait up wondering if my cousin had managed to die while out adventuring around town. But whatever. It's not like I've come to expect much social grace from neither of you. No wonder you get along. Let's not do the small talk today, Tabby, please. Stella pulls up a chair and the two of you sit down across from your increasingly anxious cousin. Hey, I didn't say that you can sit. We just came from the Forbidden Wing, Tabby. Have you been in there? Stella, what were you thinking? You know not to go in there. I know, I'm sorry, but the stuff we found in there... Tabby, your family hid so much from you. You deserve to know. I don't want to. I already said I wasn't going to let it get between us. Stella can do the talking. No, I'll say something. Tabitha, we found, like, Enoch's study. It was behind an old bookcase, and there was all this occult stuff in there. What? Like, being into the occult, is that surprising? He was a rich man in the early 1900s, and of course he was into the occult. That was like a hobby back then. You know I know that. I wouldn't have come all the way out here if that was it. But there was this other room where somebody had drawn some kind of, I don't know, satanic circle on the floor, like a horror movie. And there were meat hooks hidden behind a curtain, with a drain underneath and what looked like old bloodstains. We also found these old clothes in Grandma Eddie's room, boys' clothes, and a freaky note that looked like it might have been written in blood. It said, "I'm still in here and I love you," or something. I don't know what that means, but it was in plastic. She clearly wanted to keep it. I'll just remain silent. It looks like she doesn't want me to talk. You decide to let Stella finish rather than risking being interrupted again. But none of that is even important, because at the end of it all, it was this cell, a prison cell. Somebody was being kept in there. We found these old notebooks talking about a boy living in the walls too, and I feel like it's all connected, especially since there was this creepy old doll in there. I just feel like maybe your family was keeping some of their own kids in that room. And just before we left, we ran into Wayne, and I'm pretty sure he's the one who made sure we found it, but I don't know why. He was all mysterious and called me some old curse word and left. I'll remain silent. In the face of your silence, your cousin gathers herself and then locks onto you with a steel gaze. You put her up to this, I know you did. Stella has been a nuisance for years, always pestering me and trying to visit me at work, but even she knew never to cross this line. Breaking into my house? You notice your cousin make an odd twitch, some unnatural movement hidden behind her desk. You're not that good at this, Zen. I see exactly what you're trying to do, to turn my only friend against me, to back me into a corner. Isn't that right? Tabby, come on, that's not what's going on at all. I want to hear it from Zen. I saw you do something weird on the table. What did you do? Hey, let's not get suspicious of each other. It's just a twitch. No, it wasn't. Zen here is sharp. Not that it matters that you noticed. What's done is done. Pearl Ann had a switch installed in the desk ages ago, a direct line to the police. Clearly, we need a mediating party, and now one is on its way. But I'm here. I can mediate. I'm good at that. How's this? Tabby, I know you're not to blame for anything we found in this state. Clearly, your family has a long legacy of keeping secrets. And I know you feel like we violated your trust by going into the closed-off wing and looking for clues. But look on the bright side. Now we can all try to get on the same page. Doesn't that sound good? Aren't you lonely keeping all these secrets? Please, Tabitha, I don't want this to end with anyone being dragged off by the police. And with what we have on you, don't you think there's a possibility it won't be Zen who winds up in handcuffs? Oh, do you have any evidence of these supported crimes, or just footage of old rooms? Maybe an even better question would be, would you even be willing to use it if you did? As much as I can tell, you like Zen. You've known me much, much longer. I doubt you'd ultimately be willing to turn in an old friend like me. I don't think Zen is capable of that much persuasion. The sound of an approaching police siren interrupts the argument before any further point can be made. I hope you had fun last night, Zen. I doubt the jail is going to be nearly as comfortable. What do we do? And what if we just leave? Tabitha, I came to be here for you because I knew what it's like to be alone when your mom dies, and this is how you repay me? I'm gonna say that. Don't you try that emotional manipulation bullshit on me. You think I don't know a freeloader when I see one? I came here for you. Oh yeah, not for the free lunch? Not the free lunch? I doubt it. Tabby, you can't just act like everyone who's helping you is some master manipulator. Stella, quiet. Tabitha sighs, a certainty settling over her. I do wish I could be honest, or really, I wish honesty would do anything. But it's not going to help keep the mines running. It's not going to fix the things that are actually broken around here, because that's what the Scarlets do at the end of the day. We keep the machinery oiled. We make sure its components are replaced when they break. It's a legacy I have to maintain, as cruel and unglamorous as it might seem to anyone else. And I'll keep shouldering that burden alone for as long as I have to. It's what I was born for. You too, Zen, though you've been neglecting it for a long, long time. Okay, Tabby, you're starting to scare me. There's a knock at the office door. Miss Scarlet, permission to enter? You were called, weren't you? Come on in. The door swings open and Deputy Franklin, the sternest member of the Scarlet Hollows police force, walks in. Well, isn't this a pleasant coincidence? I've been looking for you all morning, City Slicker. You're in a lot of trouble, kid. Too much trouble to let you keep wandering around causing mayhem. Oh, so you were already planning to take my cousin in then? As a matter of fact, I was, yes, Miss Scarlet. See, there have been all these problems around town lately, and I don't need any explanation. Go ahead, be my guest. I want an explanation. What could you possibly be arresting Zen for? Stella, don't interfere. You and I can talk after Zen joins the deputy. Talk? Without her? Really? You're handing your last living relative over. No objections? You won't have me fired for abuse of power or anything? No, I think some time under lock and key would do my cousin some good. Now, if you could take care of this outside, Miss Richmond and I would appreciate it. Tabitha's the one you should be arresting her. She has a whole torture dungeon in her house. I'll say, you can't just take me away if I'm not being charged with something. I've done nothing wrong. Kid, there's plenty I could get you for, which means I'm perfectly justified to put you on a 48-hour hold. And it sounds like Miss Scarlet has her own ideas as to what exactly the charges should be, but there will be charges. You hear that, Zen? You're at my mercy, so you'd better be on your best behavior. I don't want to hear that you give the deputy a hard time. Deputy Franklin nods, whipping out his handcuffs. A single smooth police academy motion is all it takes, and the cuffs are locked around your wrists. As you're dragged from the office, Stella calls out to you one last time. It's okay, Zen. Me and Tabby are going to work this out. Then we'll come get you and everything will be okay. I promise. Officer Franklin drags you out of the office and towards the squad car, tossing you into the back seat and slamming the door. As you're shoved into the car, a voice crackles over the radio. Franklin, pick up already. We ain't got all day. Apologies, Sheriff. I was just apprehending Zen as discussed over the radio. That's nice and all, but we need you up at the farms pronto. Got ourselves a possible one. 87 Bruin. 10-4. Damn, this day just keeps getting crazier. Suppose you have to come along for the ride, miss. Oh no, what's happening at the farms? Deputy Franklin wastes no time in turning on the sirens, blasting down the road towards whatever emergency is underway with you in tow. This is possibly one of the few times he has ever been able to do this, and despite his sunglasses and stiff demeanor, there is definitely an excitement in the way he cruises around the treacherous mountain turns. As the car pulls up to the farms, you feel it again, a tingling at the back of your skull, an urgency, almost like a hand pressing you gently forward with the threat that it might become more forceful if you don't comply. Like so much crying that can only stop if you tend to it. There's another stone here, and it's refusing to let you ignore it. The feeling is strange when you try to examine it. Contradictory, something that both desires to be alone yet at the same time needs you in its presence. It's bringing something into this world and needs your help delivering it. Deputy Franklin gets out of the car, leaving you in the back as he joins the assembled crowd. All right, Sheriff, what's the situation? Bo got tired of waiting for y'all to come do your job, so he took it upon himself to go investigate the Tremaine household, and he ain't come back out, and it's been hours. Irma, I'll do the honors of briefing the officer on our current situation. You can go back to the house and let us handle it from here. But y'all don't know about all his traps and whatnot. Duke was always saying not to go in there on account for the Tremaine insanity. It's all right, ma'am. We're the police. Facing dangerous situations is our job. The woman who you take to be Bo's mom reluctantly returns to the porch of her house, watching the other building intently as the officers talk amongst themselves. Franklin, you're with me. We're headed on in to get a handle on the situation. Derek, son, you listen in from the squad car. Hopefully we can settle this without you, but you're our backup if things go south, all right? Yes, sir. Think there's any hope for the hostage? Been awful quiet. If you ask me, I don't suspect there is a hostage. Not anymore. We'll more likely be giving the doc a call once this is all settled. With a tip of the hat, Hugby signals to Franklin, and the two make their way up the hill towards the old farmhouse. Hey there, Zen. Sorry to come along for the ride. We'll have you back at the station soon enough. Sounds like this won't take long to settle. In the meantime, I'll keep you company. The thing calling out to you is starting to lose its patience. You need to find a way out of here before it gets angry. You don't really think Bo is dead in there, do you? I'd love to be wrong about this. I really would. It'd be a real shame considering what poor Irma's already been through this week, but Bo's a big man. Hard to keep a big man like that from moving around and making a fuss, and we've seen a whole lot of nothing going on in there. Still is the grave, if you pardon the expression. Do I just be real? I have a reason to suspect that there is a cursed stone here that holds some kind of ancient, possibly even evil magic. Magic stone? What, like a crystal? Crystal meth, maybe. I always suspected Julius might be a tweaker. He laughs at his own unfunny joke. There is a sound coming from the house on the hill, shouting, angry and panicked. A frantic voice crackles over the radio. Derrickson, come in. The sheriff is down. Those damn traps. Irma wasn't kidding. Keep it together, Franklin. Is he breathing? And what is the status on Tremaine and Calloway? Something in the basement, going down now. You hear an ungodly noise over the radio, a gunshot, and then static. Franklin, report. But there is only silence. Damn it, Franklin. Deputy Derrickson hesitates briefly outside your door, as if hoping someone might leave the farmhouse without his getting involved. But after a few seconds, he's heading up the hill, yelling something to Irma. And then a figure appears outside of your car door. A moment later, you hear the click of a lock. Time to go. You get out of your car and your body moving on instinct. The stone is louder outside. Its song is buzzing in your ears, drowning out the world, calling you up the hill towards the old farmhouse. Will you come with me? That's all you're able to sputter out. The buzzing draws out your words. You can almost feel it pulling, your feet aching to move. Wayne reaches out, touching your hand. His fingers are stiff and hot with infection. I'm sorry, Zen. It's more dangerous for me than it is for you. I can't. I really would have preferred it if we could all do this together, but the witch started it early. I should have known she would. The handcuffs fall away from your wrists. You weren't paying attention to what he did to make that happen, because it doesn't matter. You have somewhere to be. But she's at her most vulnerable now, and she won't be expecting you. So go on, I'll be watching. Nothing bad is going to happen to you. He gives you a hard shove forward, and then he's gone. But you're interrupted by yet another car pulling up to the scene. Irma, Zen, I got paged by the sheriff. What the hell is going on here? Where are all the cops? The talking is just noise. Their words don't matter. There's a humming in your head, almost like a voice, one you can just barely make out, but you know it will be clearer the closer you get to the stone. You start wandering up towards the farmhouse at the top of the hill. Oh, come on. Where do you think you're going? But you continue forward. You barely even notice your hand slipping over the doorknob, and now you're inside. Oh my god. Sheriff Hugby dangles in the middle of the room. An axe attached to some strange mechanism in the ceiling is embedded in his face, holding up his corpse in an imitation of life. Jesus. Careful, Joan. There are traps all over this damn place. Oh, there's like stuff growing on the walls, too. Past the body, you can see a giant pumpkin through the door to the garage, cracked open. Its guts strewn across the floor, seeds dotted across the hardwood, like a trail of breadcrumbs leading to the basement stairs. So he did take their big pumpkin. What the hell is going on here? Derrickson, is the doc here yet? We need a medical professional down here. His voice is coming from the basement. That's where you need to be. He's been shot, Joan. I think you'd better call somebody. The doctor's here? Julius, you should let her come down. You don't really want the officer to die down here, do you? I'm not the one blocking the stairs. I'm not the one you gotta convince. They won't be blocked for you. The stone wants you here. Everybody shut up. Avery, that's your name, right? Get pressure on that wound. Yes, ma'am. Get away from him, kid. But the doctor... I don't care. Let him bleed. You're only making problems for yourself, Tremaine. Oh, Tremaine is alive? Dr. Kelly quickly pulls out her phone. Damn it, there's no signal in here. I've got to step outside. You keep holding that wound and no one else had better die while I'm gone. The doctor pulls at the door, but a weave of fibrous tendrils hold it shut. It would seem that the same forces that let you all in refuse to let anyone leave. Are we stuck in here? What the hell are we supposed to do now? But you already know what to do. You're vaguely aware that Officer Derrickson is trying to stop you, but he's too nervous to take a step. You reach the basement door and start to claw at the weird, fleshy vines blocking your way. They're strong, but they relent under your touch, welcoming you down below. Avery? Who the hell? So you tried to undermine me, witch. I should have known you'd try to find a way around the rules. You've trapped the town. This isn't what any of us wanted. You should nullify the deal before it gets any worse. It's just unhappy. I didn't think something like that would be so opinionated. But I have a plan to placate it. If it wants a less broken body, it can have one. Then we'll see if it still feels cheated enough to hold a grudge. It's not too late, Enoch. You can let Eddie have the baby and your family can go back to normal, happy and unburdened. I'll clean everything up. It can be like nothing ever happened. I'll even leave town. Manipulative hag. That's what you wanted all along, wasn't it? This whole ordeal was just an opportunity for you to have access to it. Well, I know better than to hand an ounce of power over to you, Verena. Our partnership has come to an end, witch. I'll be continuing on with my business, and you should be grateful that I let you continue on with yours. One of these days, Enoch, someone will be strong enough to do what needs doing. I can wait. I can wait a long time. Hey. You're not dead, are you? Enoch fucked everyone over, even the witch. The witch? Sybil? She sent you? She tricked you into taking her side in all this? Guess I should have known I probably wasn't the only one whose life she decided to fuck with. But all that ends now. I'm in charge here and I'll get what I was promised. Hey man, calm down, it's all good. Speak for yourself. Avery's here because she knows. What the hell? Your vision finally focuses and your mind is once again your own. Avery watches you furtively from across the room. The man Julius holds a gun in a silent threat. Avery's here because she said that Julius hasn't been... Ooh, it's reaching out! That Julius hasn't been to the diner, so she was probably they were probably just checking in on him. Franklin clutches at a nasty wound in his side, blood spilling out onto the dirt floor of the unfinished basement. And in the corner is Beau. Something is attached to him, the source of all the awful noise. It stutters with pained inhalations. Beau is still breathing, but he doesn't look well. The stone brought you here and stuck you in the middle of another nightmare. Zen, we can't get to you. The door is sealed shut. Even as she yells to you, her voice is faint, barely audible behind the now thickened roots and vines that block your escape. Let's bring Zen up to speed, Julius. She looks a little shell-shocked. Where do I fucking begin? Alright. So the witch. I caught her doing some shit she shouldn't have been doing, and she offered me a deal if I kept it to myself. Always wanted to raise a boy of my own. God never saw fit to give me the chance. She gave me the means to right that injustice. Only it obviously didn't quite go the way it was supposed to. Calloway's interfered just like always, made it so I had to hatch him earlier than he was ready, and he came out hungry. Too hungry for me to handle. He kept trying to get at me, so I had to hole him up down here. Been stuck since fucking Wednesday night. The damn roots won't let me leave, and they've clogged up the drain, so I haven't been able to call that witch and get her to make things right. But I'm a man of preparedness. Figured I should wait it out, until Beau here decided to trespass. Guess he lost a tussle with my boy, and the two of them wound up down here with me. And that about sums it up. I guess in the end it's only fair, a son for a son. And birth ain't ever pretty, is it? It's not like doing it the old-fashioned way is all sunshine and roses. Just hope he winds up looking more like a person when he's done cooking. I don't give a shit about your story, Tremaine. None of that gives you reason to shoot a cop. Self-defense. Castle doctrine. Oh gosh. You said you've been down here since Wednesday? Why didn't you call anyone until now? Because this is my business. You city people have no true concept of privacy, do you? But I'm not so prideful that I can't admit this particular situation got out of hand. It's the damn witch's fault. She knew this would happen. All this was a long con to get me out of the picture. I'd bet anything. Part of me only wants to survive all this unscathed so I can rub it in her face. Avery, what the hell's going on down here? You don't have to answer, kid. I don't need my business explained to every stranger who decides to pay me a visit. It's okay. Zena's been through a lot of stuff like this lately. She must be an expert at this point. So Julius hatched a baby out of the pumpkin. The really big pumpkin. He probably saw it upstairs, and then he was stuck in the basement for a couple days while he was upstairs, crawling around looking for food. Then, unfortunately, Bo showed up. All I heard was some yelling and crashing around up there. Then I wound up with this shit on my hands, so I called the kid to come try to help me sort it out. That's me. Julius thought my plant expertise would come in handy, but I can't say it's been that helpful, though. I feel like the baby is freaking out more than ever. Getting it out of Bo without killing him doesn't seem easy or possible. Would have been easier if everybody in town hadn't decided to show up uninvited. And why is Deputy Franklin shot? All I did was walk in. You can't just walk into a man's house and expect to have the run of the place. You were getting ready to pull out your gun. I was defending myself. Bo, can you hear me? Are you alive? Uh-huh. Gotta get back to Mama, worrying about me. I think I can see it. Look, all those bumps under his skin. That thing really did go deep. That thing is my son, and you will dress him as such. Sorry, Julius. He's trying to ignore it, but the thing is reaching for him. Its little tendrils trying to extend to Julius's direction, and he's standing just outside their reach. With how he's clutching his side, it's likely he's already been wounded. Yeah, he is clutching his side. Listen clearly, you need something. You woke up talking about the witch. You want to know where she is? I can tell you how to find her. If none of you does anything stupid, then I'll tell you what I know. Sound fair? No. The conversation is interrupted by Bo shifting uncomfortably as the creature lets out a guttural moan. So what, we're just supposed to wait until Calloway Kid dies? That's exactly right. My kid gets born and we all forget this ever happened. It feels like you've only gotten part of the picture of why exactly Avery is here. They went out of their way yesterday to ask the police to do a wellness check. There's a bond there, at least from Avery's side of things, and it's probably one worth exploring if you're able. Avery, you and Julius are close, aren't you? What exactly you're trying to imply? I think Zen is just saying we're friends. And we are, right? You called me up here to help. That's what friends do. What's your angle, Zen? Making some kind of appeal to emotion? Like you're in a hostage negotiation? I already tried that. And I'm afraid all it did was make me want to shoot him again so he'd die faster. Julius, why did you really call Avery? Avery, why did you come up here so fast? You know, Julius, Avery asked the cops if they can check in on you yesterday and make sure you're okay. Julius, you went through all this trouble to make it so you won't be alone, but Avery came as soon as you called, so are you really that alone? You don't need some sort of giant pumpkin homunculus to form a connection with other people, Julius. I don't want to let them put the pieces together. You know, Julius, Avery asked the cops if they could check in on you yesterday and make sure you were okay. Oh, is that so? First I'm hearing of it. You don't exactly make it easy to check on you. Tremaine came at me with a bear trap last time, and I'd do it again. Don't want you here now either, but y'all aren't supposed to discriminate. You're supposed to care about whether I'm alive or dead, even if I come at you with a bear trap. Just one more way this whole place is against me. This whole place except you, kid, for whatever reason. No problem, Julius. Bo squirms, moaning in pain. The conversation pauses. It's looking worse. Quit eyeing the boy like that. I can tell you want to jump in and do something stupid. Never should have called you up here. This is a family issue. Should have been solved within the family. But you didn't call family to help you. You called me. A family issue, huh? Maybe the boy doesn't have to die. Neither of them has to. Maybe you can share this burden together instead. What the hell are you even saying? She's saying we might be family adjacent enough that maybe we can take the burden off Bo. Is that alright? Is that right? Family, you weren't even raised here. The hell would you know about being a Tremaine? As somebody who feels alone in a town where I pour coffee for nearly everyone every day, but most of them don't even bother to learn my name. Probably more than anybody else around here, including your own cousins. Julius doesn't respond. He watches as the boy shifts on top of Bo, crying meekly. What exactly are you saying we should do? Let him do that to us. Move him off Bo, see if he'll come willingly, and hopefully the two of us can manage it better than he can all on his own, especially if we're not fighting him every step of the way. Can't feel nice to be attached to somebody who doesn't want you. Shouldn't he know he's coming into a world where people care about him? Damn it, kid, you're making it sound all queer. If you want to raise a kid right, you're going to have to soften up sometime, old man. Julius crosses the room, kneeling by Bo, and the half-formed thing curled up on his chest. It was reaching for Julius, and immediately reaches out, grabbing desperately at him. Avery intercepts, taking its translucent hand, holding it gently. He could kill us. But it's too late for doubts now. It started. You can see the tendrils dislodge from inside Bo, and he whimpers, seizing as they slide from underneath his skin, transferring to both Julius and Avery. Wow. Told you, he gets it. Jesus, fuck, this hurts. It certainly looks painful, but no blood seeps from wounds where the boy's greedy appendages have broken through, not a drop going to waste. The boy, in contrast to the pained grimaces of Julius and Avery, seems to finally settle into comfort, falling into something like sleep as it nestles between its donors. As the thing's panic fades, the vines blocking the door slacken. The house groans unnaturally, straining under the weight of the relaxing meat of the creature's womb. The faucet in the corner of the room, finally unclogged, bursts to life and water pours out onto the dirt floor. You want to contact the witch? Well, here she comes. The water's how I do it. Spring water. It's like her, internet. Hurts. Somebody. Doctor. Holy shit, it worked. Your hands are wet. The water is spreading, pooling around you, making the floor slippery with mud. Dr. Kelly rushes down the now unblocked stairs, her eyes widen with horror at the scene in the basement. What the hell happened down here? Bo, can you hear me? Uh-huh. Am I getting a checkup? I've been shot as well, ma'am. Need hospital. I better make some calls. Everyone stay with me. Let's get the hell out of here fast before it floods. The water is suddenly much higher. It rises up past your ankles. What are you two talking about? There's no water. But there is. You just can't seem to see it. Not that it matters. Because his words are swallowed by the flood. What? What is happening? You feel like you're choking. There's water in your lungs, or there should be. Your ears are filled with the sound of rushing current. What is my cursor? It's cold and dark, and there are people screaming somewhere. Oh, it's an eye. There are bodies in the water with you. They are all dead. 1,000 corpses, 1,000 homes all torn to pieces. But the flood recedes. It hasn't happened yet. You are the mother of a daughter, and your daughter has told you about her terrible dream. It's going to kill everyone. You're not the only one who had the vision. Not yet. It has only been described to you by the daughter you have been teaching, as your mother taught you. You're the only one who can stop it, Mother, but you won't be strong enough. Her words are heavy. Wow. Of course I stop it. No, Mother, I've seen it. You will try to stop it and you will die. But there's another path. Take my power. I give it willingly. It can't be that I'm destined to lose you. It's too cruel. There's one way you can keep me with you. Take my power. I'll live in you as I once did. I will never leave you. All right. I will take my daughter. You accept your daughter's decision. She is not the child she once was, and there is a confidence in her that you have no choice but to respect. You take her back. Her power becomes yours. The flood does not come. The village is saved. No one ever knows the sacrifice that was made for their lives. No one but you. Years have passed. You outlive everyone you used to know. You move on. You meet new people and start a new life. You have another daughter. This time, the vision is yours. The piece of your first daughter that lives in you shows you what is coming. Rotting bodies in the streets, the smell of sickness on the wind, church bells ringing for an endless parade of funerals, an entire city whose gates will never reopen, everyone inside the walls falling to the curse of the plague. You are among the number, your body no longer strong enough to heal even itself. You are not enough to stop it. Not as you are. There's another path, a narrow thread. If you are stronger, you can tug at it and unravel the tapestry of the future. Mother, what's wrong? Your daughter will never be as strong as you are, not after what you had to do, but she still carries in her some strength. Enough. I'll explain it to her. You tell her what's coming. You explain what she has to give up, what you both have to give up. You love your daughter after all. You'll miss her, and you miss your first daughter. She is angry. Even when you try to explain that she will be a part of you, that she won't die, she cries and cries. She tries to run away from you. Fate is attempting to cut its loose thread. I'll let her go. The first daughter was willing to let that happen. Your daughter leaves you. You resign yourself to the future. She is one of the first to die. The streets flood with disease, and the bodies are buried, then burned, then left in heaps on the streets, until no one is left to remember any of their names. But that's not how it happened. Oh, interesting. It wouldn't let me do that decision. You do not let your daughter run from you. No plague comes. The city never knows that it would have been in ruin. But there is an unhappiness in you. She didn't understand, and what you took of her is angry, confused, restless. You will have to carry that with you. It's part of the burden of what you are. Though no one knows the depth of what you have done over the years, you have not escaped notice. You find yourself in a capital, in a place whose name has changed too many times to count. A war is brewing. The eyes of those who hold fate in their hands are on you, their lips asking which threads to pull and which to cut. And the tapestry is once again revealed to you. The war rages, and it never stops raging, bleeding that spans generations, children both born to die, decades of pain that leave a raw wound on the world. Or it ends before it begins. The few die for the sake of the many. You can guide powerful hands to crush those that need crushing, if only you have more power of your own. You call your daughter to you. You raise them differently these days. The disquiet left by the reluctant daughter taught you a permanent lesson. They don't need convincing anymore. They are ready to return to you whenever you need them. Take her back. This daughter joins her sisters easily, as she has been trained to do. You are the only one who will remember her sacrifice and her name. A small rebellion is crushed before it becomes a revolution. The people in power are happy. You leave. You don't want to see any more visions of war. You set your sights on a place where there are no kings. And yet, even an ocean away, power finds you. A man with aspirations. Anyone can hold power here, you have discovered, if they're vicious enough to want it. The hunger in him senses the power in you, and for a time you humor him. You allow him to give you a life of comfort, you and your daughter. You don't see a future where he ever grows more powerful than you can manage, none until the vision comes. A war like none the world has ever witnessed, a fledgling nation devoured in the nest, a man who sits on a throne where none was meant to be, the world under his cruel fists bowing to its crushing weight. The very ocean stained red by his influence. He's already on his way, you realize too late. You have been too close to him to see it. Your choices have already narrowed. The war is coming, whether you strike now or not, the loose thread sticking out from a mass of blood with you too weak to grasp it. But you have a daughter. You always have a daughter until you don't. Take her back and erase the man before his name can mean anything. She joins her sisters, as is her destiny, and you remove him from the world. The hole where he was filled by lesser men, none of whom remember whose shoes they're stepping into, and none of whom can hope to command the way he would have. Blood is spilled, less blood, but you still feel every drop. You hide yourself away from the world. You and your daughter. The vision still finds you, but here they are small, the decision simple. You make them all the same, helping where you can, a storm halted, a conflict settled. Until one day you are shown a dark pit. Splintering wood, debris trapping everyone inside, bodies burning as the very rock catches fire, children screaming as their flesh bubbles and silence as lungs fill with smoke. You know the choice that lies in front of you. Take her back. She joins her sisters as so many have before her. The disaster is averted, lives are saved, and you have another daughter. But that's not what happened. Ooh, not this time. You take your daughter's hand and you look into her eyes. They're green like yours. You don't want to do it this time. This is Sybil's eyes. Sybil's eyes are green. You stare out over the hills together as a plume of smoke rises into the air, but you can't hear the screams from here. You assume you will die one day like anyone else. After all, you're long past due. Maybe you'll be lucky enough to know your grandchildren before you go. Then the man comes, and with him a vision. He has already decided. He is bringing something here, something ravenous that doesn't belong, but that has been pressing at the edges of your world, trying to find a way in. It has its way now, whether you can help him or not. More of the thread you followed comes into focus, and for the first time you follow it beyond your death. Disaster after disaster, crisis after crisis, thousands of years of little cuts that you weren't there to mend. On and on it goes, longer than you can ever hope to follow. Its toll, eternal and incalculable. But there is a new thread too. If you are patient enough, if you are strong enough when the moment finally comes, if you do everything right, you can devour this thing that sits outside the world. And it will give you so much power that you'll never have to take back a daughter again. You can fix as many things as you care to fix. Floods, plagues, wars, kings. You look into her green eyes, so much like yours. You can't, but you did. So I take her back. You welcome her back as you have with every daughter before her, and you help the man. He's arrogant. He cheats the thing from another world in every way he can. He wastes your time. There will have to be more daughters before the day comes that this will be over. But days and daughters come and go, and you are very patient. You have to be, if you're to stop the hurt that would scar a world without you there to guide it. And now you're here, on the cusp of the end, the final daughter, Kanika. Zen? What are you doing here? Are you real? No, it doesn't matter. I don't care if you're a dream or not. Well, I'm glad I get the chance to see you again before I go away. And before you say anything, I already made my decision, so don't bother trying to talk me out of it. I forgot you. I can't believe it. All day, it's like you just didn't exist. That's okay. It's part of all this. Soon enough, you can go back to forgetting, and it'll be like all this never happened. You won't even know to be upset about it. You know, I don't think I've ever seen you without your glasses before. It suits you. Huh? Of course. I should have known better than to think I could hide you from Zen. I wasn't trying to trick you, for what it's worth, though I'm sure that doesn't sound very truthful. Please try to trust that this is all in your best interests. I hope it would be over before you could find me. I know it can be. Unpleasant to watch. I'd hoped to spare you, even if I knew in my heart that all the worthwhile roads for you to walk would bring you here right before I could finish my work. But you know this has to be done. To save you, to save Tabitha, to save everyone in town. Haven't they all been stuck long enough? Kanika can't save them on her own, but I can. I wish this wasn't how this had to be, but it's the only way your story gets a happy ending. There is no illusion masking her words, no trickery. She is speaking her truth. but perhaps there remains a narrow path for you to walk. Speak the name that was carved on the wall. Ooh. Of course, the scratching on the walls, this was what it was for. Zen, no, you don't have to know how to speak it. The thought of it brings a sound to your lips, the name forcing its way out, yearning to be free from your mind and used as a dagger it is. Whoa. The dagger tears into her. Everything that is not her pours out of the delicate tapestry of her existence. The parts she arranged so neatly scattering, their voices filling the dream around you, confusion as her careful order is upended. A single dangling thread comes into focus. Zen, wait. You can't see how this will benefit you because you don't understand the danger you're in. Your enemies have made sure you can't, not until it's too late. I'm the only one who wants to see you walk free, but I understand why you wouldn't trust me. Of course I do. I've had to weave my own little lies as part of this ridiculous game. Please know that I'm not lying now. But even if you don't believe a word I've said about your own safety, I'll give you something else too, something you need. As you are now, you're limited in your potential. There's so much more you could be. I could give that to you. Consider it a wish granted. I only need to finish what I started. Ooh. Gain trait, hot. Gain trait, street smart. Book smart. Do I just pull the thread? If you want me to trust you, then give me what you're promising now. Show me you can. I can't. It requires a strength I don't currently possess. If you want what I've offered you, you'll have to trust me. I'm doing this for everyone, remember that. I don't know if I trust her. I'm gonna pull the thread. You ignore her offer. You grab the thread and pull. The delicate tapestry is unwoven. The witch is careful. Work torn open, if only momentarily, as her daughter's hands are finally unbound enough to grab for their mother. Their cries are a song, calling out as they drag her down into the depths of their mass, craving her warmth, her attention, her love, as it had been so long since she held them. The tapestry weaves itself shut around her. The cries grow quiet, sated. The witch is gone. Kanika catches her breath in the space once occupied by her sisters. Now she stands alone. Though she isn't really alone, not anymore, and she never will be. She wears the weave of all those generations of power. Someone has to. What did you do to me? I think I gave you her power. But I don't know how to use it. She never taught me anything or told me anything. Magic wasn't supposed to be real. Will I have to do what she was going to do? How do I even know what that is? How do I save the town if I don't even know what's wrong with it? God, this is so much pressure. I never asked for this. I don't think I can handle it. But you know what's wrong with it? But you do know what's wrong with it. People are stuck here, so let's free them. You'll figure it out. I know you will. Aren't you glad she's been taken out of the picture? You're free. I needed to deal with her. We can figure this out together. That's what we've been doing all week, remember? I like that one. You're right. We can figure this out. You made it all the way here and did. Whatever it is you just did. Nothing is too much for us to handle. She takes a deep breath, collecting herself. We'll just take it one step at a time. First step, figure out how to get out of here. It's weird. Everything felt slippery before, like I couldn't hold on to anything, but now it's like I can see how it's all put together and where all the seams are. So if I just... You don't see whatever it is she's doing. The world around you goes dark. You're moving like a current is carrying you somewhere, buoying you upwards, your body ascending rapidly until finally you surface. Kanika. We were in the water. You're outside, it's raining. You have no idea where you are. Tulip? Janie? Oh. Actually, finish episode 5. Finish episode 5 with Mystical. Finish episode 5 with Keen Eye. Wow, this is the end of episode 5. Only one major content update remains until the story reaches its conclusion in the final chapters. Stay tuned for updates on this final release. Ah, interesting. Well, I will save the game. Wow. That was very interesting. I was not expecting... I mean, I always had a feeling that Sybil was, like, very sneaky and totally a witch. But... nice. We gave Kanika Sybil's power, and now we'll support Kanika with saving the town, and hopefully we can collectively do it together, and maybe I won't get arrested by the cops because they realize that crazy stuff is happening in this town and it's not my fault. So great. We have the final chapters, and then we'll go from there. So the next stream we'll do the final chapters. And thank you so much for joining and watching. This is a great stream. Super interested. Sometimes this game just gets so, like, philosophical or over my head about some kind of stuff, but it makes sense. Sybil was taking the lives of her daughters to extend her life longer so she could be there to control everything. Well, thank you so much for joining. This will get uploaded onto YouTube as always, so follow my YouTube if you have not already. And thank you for watching. Have a great day.